So a man pretends to be a woman, sexually molests an infant, then gets off with a misdemeanor. He works in a daycare, yet he is the victim. Yeah, that's the world. That's the world we live in. Mm-hmm. Can it be any more obvious that something dark is overtaking the country? I don't know how people, well, I guess because they just don't believe in God, but it's so obvious. I mean, it's because, here, look, with the transgender thing, let's just be clear. If it was really just about them wanting to change their genders and everybody accept them, then they wouldn't be so hell-bent on pushing it on children in the classroom. They wouldn't be so hell-bent on everybody having to turn their lives upside down just to accommodate them, or have temper tantrums over their pronouns. But the biggest thing being they wouldn't be in classrooms wanting to push it. That's not the LGBTQ, that part. That's the trans part doing that. Because there's been plenty of gay and lesbian people that have come out against this stuff. Doing this stuff to children and all of it. I mean, groups of people that organizations that have stood up against it that are gay and lesbian. But so this is particularly the transgender group, and it's just the most wicked agenda. It just really is, proving the Bible, in my opinion. But then here's the other reason it proves the Bible is because it's dark, right? And then if you read the Bible, anybody who knows, I've said before how when God lifts protection on a country, you will be slaughtered, because that's what God does with Israel. And then sometimes Israel gets slaughtered because God lifts protection. So, but when God says, no, you go take that land, and God will say, no, you're not allowed this land. I promise that this to the Moabites or whatever, different tribes. You can't have this. I have this. He goes, has them take it over. So when you have a country that 20 years ago, there was 68% of Americans that believed in the biblical God, considered themselves Christian, and now at current days it's 42%, then you can pretty much guess why this is all happening. It's because God's giving us a warning. I mean, I would say it's a warning. But what happens is your country gets invaded. So you can bet that the communists at the top, anyway, those dark ones at the top that want to convince all the Americans that, yeah, there's no God, there's no scientific evidence for that. Yeah, right. Yeah, there is. But they know, those communists at the top that know directly who they report to, so to speak, they know there is a God. They know that they have to get enough Americans to turn away from God, and then that's when they can get the country. Because look, here's the thing, the reason what I'm trying to get to here is, what if Americans are the chosen people? It's all through the Bible, and everybody says Israel's the chosen people. Okay, maybe. I don't know that God cares so much about the terrain, though. I mean, as far as I don't, because it's not his kingdom. But here's the reason I say this, is because America was founded under a covenant with God, most especially Jesus Christ. That's the key here. The only country that covenant was made with the Pilgrims. To this day, the Jews that live in Israel, it's about half of them that believe Jesus was the Son of God. There's still the other half that even after all these years, after everything that went on with Jesus, him rising from they still don't believe, they still think that they can hang their hats on the Old Testament, that they'll be okay with God just focusing on the Old Testament. No. So when I hear people come out and say, no, the promise made with Abraham, the covenant, God promised that they would always be the chosen people. Yeah, how does that work, though, when God comes in the form of man, and hundreds and hundreds of years go by since that man that was the Son of God was here, And the Jews still aren't getting it. Are they still the chosen people? I'm just saying. Like it's so, and here's the reason this is important. And I think that Americans, there's more Americans, and the reason why I say that maybe America is the chosen people is because Americans are more likely to focus on the relationship with God rather than the rituals. Now, we have a ton of ritual stuff in the Catholicism and all that. God doesn't care about all that. He does not. He does not. And yet that's what the the leaders of the church back when Jesus was here, that's what they focused on. Everything was about the rituals and doing the works, but they had no heart. See, I think God's chosen people are the ones that have a heart, that have the heart. They may not be the religious scholars, or they may be some in some cases, but they're not the ones in the robes and all that stuff, really. They're the ones that likely are people that are, as it says in the Bible, that they're after, what is it? They're after God's own heart or something like that. I can't remember that quote, or I think it's from the Bible. People have heard it. That's a kid after my own heart kind of thing. There's something said about that in the Bible. I think that's what America represents. That's why I wonder if it's we, the holy people. We Americans, the American people, are the holy people. Not holy people, but the chosen ones. I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, it does. It does. I shouldn't say that. But my point being here is that there's too many. Everybody says it's Israel. But when you really read in the Bible about what the chosen people are to God, doesn't necessarily mean it is Israel. Just because a whole bunch of stuff took place there was before America's founding. But America was founded under the belief, no, Jesus was the Son of God. That would be most pleasing to God. Because Jesus said, you can't go to the Father without going through me. So that's the reason that Holy Spirit thing was so important. So that, it wasn't about the rituals. Not that those are bad, but you can't just do the rituals and never have the relationship. So in order to know the truth about Jesus, to know the evidence for it, you have to go down the path of having that relationship, which is why the Holy Spirit was sent. If you have 50% of Israel that doesn't believe Jesus was the Son of God, they hang their hat on the fact that the promise was made to Abraham. But I don't think God will be okay with, it was okay for your group to disregard the New Testament. It's okay for your group to disregard Jesus because that was God incarnate. So, yeah, I think that kind of changes that whole, oh no, Abraham, the promise. Well, you have to at least be able to recognize the Son of God. So, just an opinion. But, and I could be totally wrong. I'm no Bible scholar or theologian. Just, but I don't necessarily think you have to be. You just have to pray and understand that relationship, and that's, it's like a two-way connection in a way. You just realize some things, if that makes any sense. But no, I wonder, because America's prospered for a long time up until recently. We have. I mean, we've had so many enemies within that been wanting to take us down. Why would that be? Well, maybe it's because there's some people at the very top of that dark system that currently is trying to destroy America. Our health institutions at the top. I mean, the professional organizations, all the people going along with it. The transgenders are being, there's violence against them. Yeah, right. All these dark people that have been trying to take America down and haven't been able to. But some of them, I think, at the very top, they know exactly what America's all about. That's why they've had the damnedest time trying to conquer it. And they won't conquer it, because Americans will be wise enough and turn back. Because you just may be the chosen people. Better think about that.